Aba Brown, and the course is Confronting Oppression and Injustice. I'm going to be talking about theories of empowerment today. Theories of empowerment are derived from a number of different sources, mainly sociology, economic and political theory, liberation theology, and social work. Theories of empowerment have several common features that exist within each of the theoretical perspectives. Social work began really as an individual intervention. It was meant to resolve the needs and/or suffering of individuals and families. As social workers began to see that the challenges that were impacting individuals and families really were occurring on more communal or societal levels, social work began to see its role expand into social reform. So this is often where you see the systemic interventions and the reform background of social work. Empowerment is characterized by being both a process and a product. There is a process to become empowered, and there is a product of empowerment. And also, all theories of empowerment refer to power, which is defined as the ability to access and control resources and people. So a theoretical definition of empowerment is the process by which individuals and groups gain power to access resources and to control the circumstances of their lives. So why do we engage in empowerment in social work? The first is oppression exists in the world, systemic, interpersonal, and internal oppression. Empowerment is often a response to oppression. Because empowerment is both process and product, empowerment can be used to create and garner support for change from individuals and communities, and then empowerment can be translated into sustainable change. Also, empowerment aligns itself well with our postmodern context, a context in which we do not necessarily believe that the meta-narratives or the big stories that we've been told that were designed by a dominant mindset and dominant culture are necessarily true. Empowerment really respects the idea of self-determination, that each individual is able to determine how and where and why and how they want to live their lives. So it's important that empowerment is tied into that. Also, empowerment often refers to the ecological perspective of social work. This is loosely translated as the person and environment understanding. Social work as a profession understands the relationship or seeks to understand the relationship between individuals and their environment. This perspective often shapes the type of interventions that we design and the type of solutions that we put into place. And so empowerment really respects the notion of the person and environment and is fundamental to the practice of empowerment. Empowerment also really relies on systems and the experience of the collective. And I talk about this because in our current context, community has really been redefined. Community used to reside only in neighborhoods or people that were geographically close to you. As technology continues to advance, we can find communities online, we can find communities that are global in nature, and we can find community not just by geographic boundaries, but by interest area, by identity, by age group, etc. And so empowerment really responds to the different kinds of communities that are formed in our current context. Also, empowerment is explicitly concerned with building on what already works. This, to me, is reflective of the strengths perspective that we try to employ in social work practice. Building on the things that are already strong are critical in empowerment. It is the epitome of not reinventing the wheel, but to excavate the things that are strong about individuals and communities and society and building upon those as a foundation as opposed to scrapping everything and starting over. And empowerment is heavily aligned with the values and the ethical imperative of social work. I've listed the social work values here because empowerment can be seen in all of those: in service, social justice, dignity and worth of the person, importance of human relationships, integrity, and competence. There is a strong case for why it is appropriate to utilize empowerment in social work practice at the individual and at the societal level. So empowerment first entered social work literature in 1976 by a woman named Barbara Solomon. She was a practicing social worker and described empowerment as a process whereby the social worker engages in a set of activities with the client that aim to reduce the powerlessness that has been created by negative valuations based on membership in a stigmatized group. That last sentence may remind you of a theory that we've already visited in this course discussing oppression. Oppression essentially is the negative valuation targeted at a group. And so this process is, again, really a response to oppression. She continues on to say it involves identification of the power blocks that contribute to the problem, as well as the developmental and implementation of specific strategies aimed at either the reduction of the effects from indirect power blocks or the reduction of the operations of direct power blocks.